We'll go live here on Spreaker as well. Hello, Spreaker audience. Hope you're listening in. Waiting to build an audience on Facebook, so just wait with us. Let's see who we have. Audience, hope you're listening in. How's everybody doing this evening? Trust you're well. What was you doing?
I got a hair sticking up, sorry.
I got a few myself. Good thing the hair salons are opening back up next week. Who we got watching? I can't see who it is. It says six viewers.
Sister Rhonda. Hey, Sister Rhonda.
Good evening, Sister
Rhonda.
Mosley. Sister Mosley.
Noah.
Well, 3 of the 6 or 2 of the 6 is right here in our house. All right, we need to build a good audience so people can have an idea what's going on.
Hillary.
Chaos in the street. So give us a few minutes here, folks. Appreciate y'all getting on. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Sorry I had to postpone this from Thursday to Friday, but it was kind of beyond my control. But hopefully we can still get quite a few on here and get these instructions out so to make it easier at the door Sunday morning.
Haha, you're on a walk, Sister Hillary? Weather's been perfect today.
We're doing great.
Hey, Sister Misty.
We're just doing that awkward Facebook Live waiting time, but feel free to comment back and forth. Sister Amy's watching the comments. I'm manning the Spreaker and getting ready to do most of the talking, I reckon. This was the video that we were going to air last night, and we had to air it tonight, so hope that didn't throw anybody's plans off. I want to make sure we got everybody who's going to get on, and at some point here, just in a minute, we'll give to about 6:35 and we'll get started, and if they can't join us live, hopefully they'll get back and watch it later.
You gotta eat some.
Okay, we're going to give it 2 more minutes, 6:35, and we will roll with it. I don't want to take up a whole lot of your Friday evening. I want to give everybody a chance to know what's going on. So we're holding strong there, yeah? At 5 outside of you and Noah. And I don't know how many is listening in on Spreaker. Can't ever tell with that. It's a wonderful audio app to use. You just can't do a lot of corresponding there. So, but we do appreciate those who've signed on. We was waiting to gain some. Looks like we lost some. So, but this is what we have. So we're going to go with this. And like I said, I know we had to move this to Friday night, so it could have cut into others' plans, and it was beyond our control. But we've said we would come live this week before we head back to service. We talked last Thursday night, and asked the question, who is ready to get back to God's house? And I believe we all are. But we have to do that. We're phasing in. So we're starting this process, and we made the announcement that we would return on Mother's Day. And so that weekend is here. It's Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers as we approach Mother's Day weekend. And Sunday morning, 10:30, we will have our Mother's Day service. And we've sent out a text this week asking everyone to RSVP. That has been strange to me to have to do that, but we've had to keep that number there around 50 and keep social distancing in place and do all of those things that we've been asked of to do according to federal, state, and local guidelines. And we want to comply with all that. We want to make sure that we're in that, but we want to reopen our doors as well. We want to get back to church. Online has been fun, and we've enjoyed it. We've been fed, and we're going to continue to have to do a mixture of the two for a little while. As we said, going forward for the month of May, we will continue to have our online services for Sunday school, Sunday night, and Wednesday night. Sunday school will be moved to Saturday night. This is an announcement. I know there's just a few on here, but share this. I guess I may send out a text later. I was going to start our Saturday night Sunday school this Saturday at 6, but I'm postponing that to next week. I've had an eventful couple of days, and so we've got a lot still going on. We got to get done before Sunday morning, so we're going to push that back. We'll start that up. We will not have any Sunday school. We'll just have the Sunday morning Mother's Day service. It's kind of consumed our week. So that will be our only live service and online service for this weekend. We will be back Wednesday night online for our Wednesday night study on minor prophets. That'll be continued as normal. And then our next service will be next Saturday night online. And then going forward, Sunday mornings at 10:30 at the sanctuary. And then Sunday night online. And then so on and so forth. So that's the plan as we resume and move forward. Sunday school, as we said, will be live on there. We will not have children's church, and we will not have nursery for the month of May. None of that will be available. It's basically what it's going to be is just like you've been doing of having service on your couch, watching it on TV. You're basically coming to sit on the pew and have it there. And we've got to keep all of those social distancing guidelines in place. And we just want to come together, maybe 6 feet apart, but we just want to come together. We want to get back where it is normal. So for the safety of our babies, our children, we will not have nursery, children's church until we have the all clear to do that. And we're hoping 1st of June that they'll get us to that phase, but whenever that is, that's when we'll start that. And for the safety of everyone attending, and as we said, being in compliance to all of the mandates, we're going to have to put and stick to these guidelines. These guidelines are in place. We all have an opinion on them, I'm sure, and I understand that, and I have my opinions, but I just kind of keep my opinions to myself and just try to follow the guidelines of what I can do as a pastor for us to come together. This is not us. This is not how we want to function and operate. Typically, we want visitors. We want to shake hands. We want to hug necks. We want to do all of these things. But when inside of these guidelines, with this social distancing in place and following all of this, we've got to avoid all of that. So that's the purpose of having to do a video to get prepared for Sunday. And so here are those guidelines that we covered last week, and then we're going to get into Sunday. Church attenders are asked to stay home if you're not feeling well or if you have a fever. Even if you RSVP'd and you wake up Sunday morning, you got a fever, you're not feeling good, please stay home, and it's just for your safety and for others' safety as well. And when we get there, they're saying we have to have immediate families sit together. If you've been together through this and in the same home, you and around each other, you sit together. And so we have set that up in our preparation for Sunday. Just telling you this is what is placed out. This is what we've had to go by 6 feet distance from other church attenders. And so we've set that up, and we are going to have the sanctuary accommodated for that, a seating chart for that, and all of that good stuff. We're going to have to use our smiles to greet one another. We've got to refrain from handshaking, hugging, until we get the all clear, no fist bumping. We can't even get really within 6 feet of each other in accordance to these guidelines that we have to abide by. Masks are welcome, but they're not required. And as we said, Sunday night, Wednesday night Bible study, they'll continue on Facebook. I'm recapping last week. So this is what we come to. Sunday service, Mother's Day, back to church for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, babe. And so we're heading back Sunday morning, our 10:30 service, and this is how we're going to do Sunday mornings, starting Sunday morning for Mother's Day. And we're just going to go week by week. We may have to do this video again next week because this is a special day. Some folks wanting to come with their mothers who may not come every Sunday. And we've got some folks out of town and different things like that. Some may not be ready to come back. But nevertheless, here we are until we're given further instruction from those in authority over us, within the Church of God and within the state, local, state, and federal government in accordance to the Word of God, specifically laid out in Romans chapter 13. This is how we're going to operate and how we're going to function. So here's how it's going to be Sunday morning. This is the guidelines that we've had to put in place. And as we're putting it together, this is crazy, right? Mm-hmm. But we have to do it because we want to gather together. We want to have worship service. I've watched as pastor friends, colleagues, and fellow brothers and sisters, and you have too on Facebook, as pastors have had to do this awkward video and this ain't us, but this is what we got to do all around the state and all around Georgia. I've seen different ones do it, and they're feeling about the same as I am, but here we are. We're doing this. So we're going to print, from here down, I am going to take and print it, or take and cut and paste it, and post it there on our Facebook page after this video, maybe attached to the video, maybe in another comment section. And so we'll have it for Sunday morning. Here's how Sunday morning will work. You'll arrive at church, and when you arrive at church, we cannot allow anybody to come in until 10:15. 10:15, the doors will open at 10:15. Those doors will stay open until the start of service. So don't feel any need to close the door behind you. At 10:15, no earlier. We want you, if you arrive and people are coming up, just space yourself out, give yourself time, because as they're coming in, they're being seated. They're being led or shown to their seats. So at 10:15, if you get there at 10:15, we want you to stay in your car or arrive early or arrive right at that time, but don't congregate on the front porch and around the front, because that's going to defeat the social distancing protocol that we have to keep. The doors are open, and so when they're open, we'll allow one family or person, individual, if they're by themselves, in at a time, and just allow them just a little bit of time to enter and be given their seating assignment before you approach the door. And we've got 15 minutes to get everybody seated, and we believe we got a streamline in place to have this, because we've made a seating chart for all who have RSVP'd. And so once you enter into the foyer, you'll be greeted by this beauty right here. She'll be standing inside the foyer. Sister Amy will be there to direct you on either side, or whatever side you'll be sitting on, the section in the row that you'll be seated. Your name's going to be there on the seat, so she'll direct you to that. You'll either come through the doors, and if you need assistance, you'll have Gracie assisting on one side, me assisting on the other. We'll keep social distance like they're asked, and make sure you find and get to your seat and know where you're sitting for Sunday's service. And just go straight to your assigned seat, as we have limited time to get everyone seated. And once you're there, once everybody is in, the doors will be left open until that time. At the start of church, our ushers will close the door. They'll be just touched by one person there, and limited in that, sanitized, so it avoids several people and several contacts. So that's when they're saying it could be passed. To be sure. So you want to be sure you're on time for service between 10:15, 10:30 to get there in your seat. And so once you get to your seat, the way I explained it to Sister Amy is kind of, I think I said it earlier, it's kind of like having the service still at your house, but you're not on the internet, and you don't have the emojis and all of that. You're not on your couch, you're on the church pew, and you're not in your pajamas if you wear your pajamas. If you got dressed for church already, you're good. But it's going to be a wonderful service, a great service. We're going to do everything we can to get the service. We're going to try to keep it limited, because we understand with no nursery and no children's church and We need to use limited use of the restrooms, if at all possible, for the remainder. This is going to be for the remainder of the month, but it's for the safety of all, so we don't, for the sanitizing and all of that good stuff. So that's how the service, that's how to come in. You'll be assigned seat. That's why we needed you to RSVP, and that's why we got to make a seating chart, and you'll see rows taped off, and if it says do not, how are you going to word that? Unused pew, it'll be marked.
Social distancing row, no seating available.
Don't sit on that row. Just sit where you're assigned. And we've got names of those who have RSVP'd. Of course, if there's those that don't show up, that's fine. You can't make it, that's fine. And if there's those that do show up, we'll have to work that out as that comes about. And we will go by that. But it's kind of a protocol that we've had to put in place. And this is not typically how we do church. I don't think this is typically how anybody does church, but it's the way that we've got to do it. But we're excited about the opportunity to do things in new ways. This knot of stress in my neck tells me that we're so excited about this opportunity. But we're trying to do our best to accommodate everyone, and I want everyone to be there. We want to celebrate our mothers. We want to have that. I wish we would have been able to come back for Easter, but if we couldn't have come back for Easter, it's wonderful to come back for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is a special day. I love honoring our moms and looking forward to that. And so we're going to do that as a service. The Lord just laid a message on my heart as we honor our moms, and Sister Gilda and Sister Mary's prepared music, and they're going to be the only two on the platform besides me for this week, and we'll go forward with that. But they'll be our musician and our singer for this week, and I'm not sure about the special singing. Sister Mary is setting that up, but we're going to be limited of people who's on the stage, and keeping our social distance, and have a wonderful service. And then we come down to when we get ready to dismiss. So when we're dismissing, we'll give these instructions, I'm sure, in the service Sunday. We'll be dismissing by individuals or families. And so in doing that, we ask, we're receiving our offering. Don't forget, we're receiving our offering for Heart of Florida Youth Ranch. You know, it about slipped my mind leading up with all this COVID-19, but every year we do a special offering for the ranch. So we're going to do that this year. So bring that offering and prepare that offering. So if you have that offering, your tithe, hold on to that till end of service when we dismiss. That's something that's different for us as well. Our altar service, our time, we'll be basically honoring our mothers, praying for our mothers, but everyone will be staying in their seat for that. You know, I usually do an altar call, and we flood the altars. And an altar, like I said last week, is a meeting place with God. And so that will be in our seats this week. And we will honor our mothers that way, pray for our mothers that way. And then as we dismiss, we ask you to bring that love offering, tithes, anything you have, as we dismiss families, going by the mothers and the individuals, the families. As we dismiss, the offering plates will be on the communion table. You can drop that offering as you go by. And as we honor our mothers, as we traditionally do by giving our gift to each mother in attendance, they'll be picked up there also on the communion table. There'll be little baggies. We ask that you don't look through and try to find, just grab a bag and go by. Don't touch all of them. Moms, just grab one. They're all beautiful. They're all wonderful, and they're all to honor you. So just grab one and take it with you. And as that family is dismissed, we'll try our very best.
And proceed out the door.
And proceed out the door. We'll give that instruction how I'm going to do that at the end of service. And we'll try to get that as rapidly as possible at the end of service, and get everybody dismissed. And then you can go and enjoy your time with your family, with your mothers, and all of that good stuff. But we're looking forward to a great day and a wonderful day in the Lord. And unfortunately, we're going to have to do it just like this in this phase 1 for the month of May. But my thoughts is it's better, because we can't live stream because it doesn't go through. It's better than just listening to it on Spreaker. It's better than the videos have been good, and we've enjoyed doing it. We'll continue to do some of it. But it's just something about coming together, even if we have to be socially distanced and do all of these protocols and guidelines. It's an opportunity for us to come together, especially on this wonderful, beautiful day of the year of Mother's Day, when we honor some of the greatest people. I always say none of us would be here without our moms. And so I honor not just my mom, not just my stepmom, but all of you moms out there, especially godly mothers. And So it's a wonderful time to come back, and I believe it's going to be a beautiful day. Nerve-wracking. You think, man, this is this weird and this aggravating? It is for us too, believe me, but we are following protocol and guidelines, and want to go by Romans 13 and want to be in compliance and want to keep your health and all of that in best interest, and as we move forward. It's everywhere. It's everywhere you go. It's theaters, hair salons. It's all over the country, all over the world that this has been happening, and people's tried to pin it down to just the church, but that's not the case. It's everywhere you go. People's just now able to get back into their favorite restaurants, and they have protocols they got to follow there. So it is what it is. It's what we've been saying a lot, and we trust you feel that way too, and hope that you're understand where we're at on these guidelines. So I want to open it up for just a few minutes before we let you go on with your Friday evening, just in case anybody has any questions. If you have any questions whatsoever, we want to give you that opportunity to ask questions, and Sister Amy and myself will be there at the front doors, or she'll be at the front door, and I'll be at the double doors on one of the sides, and probably Gracie. We'll see if she can help us out. I'm pretty sure she can. But names are going to be on the seats, right? Because she's going to create a seating chart.
It'll basically be the last name and the number in your party that you've RSVP'd for. So it's kind of almost taking the same aspect of a restaurant. So like for Brother Kevin, it'd be Fifield party of 2. So yeah, just to kind of help everybody, so people's not wandering aimlessly trying to figure out where they need to go.
And you may not be in your normal seat, but that'll confuse the devil. He'll say, "I thought they were sitting over there," and maybe he'll mess with somebody else instead of you. But we'll be a different seat.
We did try to keep everybody pretty much in the same vicinity of where they were, with a couple of different occasions due to the rows moving around and stuff like that. So, and then having to have full rows for large families, that's kind of thrown us off some, but we made it work, and I think we're going to have a great Sunday.
So no questions, all hearts and minds cleared, and everybody understand. Give me a thumbs up if you understand that we just have to follow these guidelines, please, because it's tough to make these kind of decisions and do these kind of things, but we're ready to come back to church, and I know it's Friday evening. People's thinking about dinner and different things, but we just want to make sure everybody is prepared for Sunday. All right. They don't have a thumbs down button, so no musicians this week. Right. Even
on, I guess he's supposed to be even online.
Right. It'll just be Sister Gilda and Sister Mary for Sunday morning. We will have our ukulele player and singer on Wednesday nights, but she's been doing that up to this point. That will continue as we enter into different phases. Sister Mary may reach out to some of our singers for specials, but we'll have special singers for that and assigned mics for that. So we don't want a whole lot of people touching everything on the platform because it's kind of defeating the purpose of what we're having to do. So that's the way that we will set it up.
Thank you, Sister Rhonda. Thank you, Sister Misty. It's definitely been trying.
Any more questions? We don't want to take up your whole Friday evening, and I'm sure others will come back and watch this later. Those that we've had, like I said, we're at the mark. We have several who have RSVP'd, so we will be there at our 50 mark, thereabout. So some people plans may change or what have you that they can't make it, but we are at capacity. Did make it where I didn't have to go to a second service, and so we are ready for Sunday morning.
That's all.
All right, and we do appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
Thanks for being patient through this trying time.
Yeah, for all of us. I saw a thing. You be patient with your pastor because he's never pastored in a pandemic. I never heard the word pandemic until about 8 or 9 weeks ago. But It is what it is, and I will be honest with you, it has been tough, and it's going to continue to be tough. This is even a tough part as we phase in, because everyone has different feelings, different approaches, different thoughts, but we've got to carry on. We've got to carry forth the Word of God, and we've been endeavoring to do that, and now we have an opportunity to come back to church, but we're kind of limited in that. We could do more services, I'm sure, but we need to get our feel of it. So we're praying all goes well Sunday. If all does not go well Sunday, if it's utter chaos and it doesn't work and people can't follow the guidelines and it doesn't work, then we have to go back online until we get the all clear. And I don't want to do that. I want this Sunday morning thing to work because time together is wonderful. All right. We love y'all.
Love y'all. See you Sunday morning.
God bless you, and we will see everyone Sunday morning.
Yeah, you're better off reading word for word. I said you're better off reading word for word. You gotta heavy yourself a couple times.
You won't even talk.
Couldn't get a word in.
Yeah, just shut up real quick after you said that.
Oh, sorry, Spreaker.